What is up? What is going on, everybody? I am here with the Mariners post-game recap. Quick plug as always, hit comment, hit like, or hit comment, hit the like button, and hit subscribe. If you're not subscribed yet and you're watching the videos, just helps me out tremendously. Again, truly appreciate all you guys that comment and are subbed. It means a lot to me. That's an ugly loss. That's a bad loss. There's just no other way around it. That is an unacceptable loss by the Seattle Mariners tonight. And I'm sorry, and I'm going to get into it. I'm going to explain why, and I'm going to dive into everything here. But absolutely on so many different levels tonight, unacceptable. You can sit there and go, Jay, the Yankees aren't a bad team. They're actually a pretty good team. They'd be a playoff team if the playoffs began today. Like, what are you up in arms about? And that's true. The Yankees are certainly not a bad base. This has nothing to really do with what I think of the Yankees overall necessarily. It's what this was going into this game. Right away, with the pitching matchup of Brito versus Castillo. Brito entered today with an ERA of almost 6. And I don't care, maybe he's good. I don't know, maybe he's a good prospect. He's 25, he's probably not much of a prospect necessarily. I don't care. He has not been good this year. And he shut down the Mariners for 5 2/3. A pathetic performance from the offense once again. And it is pathetic. Listen, if this team is projected to win 67 games, I wouldn't be up in arms. Even last year, I probably would have been up in arms too much. But this is a team that we expected to take a step forward and possibly compete for a World Series. And that's what you do against a guy that's just called up today making their start that's been running a 6 ERA. And it's not like Brito's been like 90 strikeouts or something. He's got 30 strikeouts coming into this game. He has not been very good. There's no other way around it. I don't care if he's got stuff. He did fine. I don't care. Start hitting these pitchers. Again, it's the same thing. It's the same thing with Lance Lynn striking out 14 of these guys. Lance Lynn struck out 14 Mariners. The guy's been terrible all season. But again, it got masked because they did find a way to win that game. So it kind of got masked a little bit about how pathetic that performance was. And it's everybody in this offense. It's every single player. Luis Castillo, I'm sorry, that is a pathetic performance from Luis Castillo tonight. That is terrible. I don't care if it was 5 innings, 3 earned runs. Oh, it's not that bad. Yeah, it was. He needed to be an ace today. They needed 7 strong shutout innings. They needed a start where an ace goes out there and goes, enough of this. I am dominating the other team tonight. No ifs, ands, or buts. So regardless of what my offense does, we're winning this game. 5 innings, 4 hits, 3 runs, 3 earned, 4 walks, 3 Ks. More walks than strikeouts, 3 runs, giving up home runs to Jake Bauers and Billy McKinney again because, God forbid, the Mariners didn't give up hits and home runs to guys that are just, you know what I mean. This is not a great post-game video. But this game got me. And you guys know, I've been very patient. I'm not someone that comes on, does this every night and goes, oh, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. I said in April when they were losing some games, I wasn't too worried. I was like, it's April. Teams got to find their footing a little bit. Even in May, I was kind of forgiving, saying, hey, they've lost some close games. They're hanging in there. They're still okay. You can't do that anymore. Again, is this individual game, as I say this all the time, in a vacuum, this game itself, the end of the world? Of course not this individual game. But they have not given themselves any benefit of the doubt before this. If they would have come into this 41 and 31, yeah, I'd throw it away. I'd say, okay, like it happens. But they don't have that luxury anymore. They're now 5 games out of a playoff spot. They had a chance to make up some ground this series against the Yankees, a team that is in the playoff spot. Houston's been struggling. A chance to gain some ground on Houston. Can't do it. They lose tomorrow, they're 6 out of a playoff spot. I mean, people are asking me, what do you think they're going to do at the deadline? Sell. I think they're going to sell if this is what they keep doing. Because why would they add anybody? What's it going to do? For what? You're going to be 6 games out of teams that I don't think they're better than. I don't think they're better than Houston right now. I don't think they're better than the Yankees right now. And not to mention the series against the Yankees is without their best player. Aaron Judge isn't in there. It's not Aaron Judge killing you. I can tip my cap to Aaron Judge. Last night, if you guys watched my live stream with Rooftop, I specifically said in our postgame, I said, this loss doesn't really bother me if they can bounce back and win. Garrett Cole's really good. I didn't have a problem losing yesterday's game. That's a tough matchup. That's a tough one on the road against a pitcher that might be the Cy Young frontrunner. That is a tough game to win. That loss, I was okay with. But they needed to win tonight. You have Luis Castillo against Brito going into it. No excuses. That should be a win. And with the Yankees without Aaron Judge. No Judge, no Stanton tonight. And you give a home runs to Volpe, to McKinney, to Bowers. Volpe, fine. He's a legitimate prospect. Jake Bowers, really? Again, he's murdered the Mariners this season. Bowers absolutely killed the Mariners. That's a bad start from Luis Castillo. I don't care if it was he rebounded. Listen, there are some days where that's fine. If Castillo was coming off 5 straight dominant outings, I would tip my cap again and say, listen, the offense need to pick him up. The offense, we're going to get to the offense. Trust me, they're not off the hook. But this has kind of been what Castillo's given this team the last few outings. He was not sharp against Miami. They had a chance to sweep the series. He walked 6 batters. Yes, he limited the damage, but he was still not good enough. Against the Angels, I know the strikeout walks were great, and that's awesome, but he was giving up home runs to Mickey Moniak, to guys like that. They should have won that game against the Angels and Ohtani. And I'm tired of this too. Anytime the Mariners play another team's ace, they have no chance. They just get rocked. But when the Mariners' ace or whatever is on the hill, the other teams have no problem. That's not an acceptable performance. It's not. And I know maybe this is the old school in me. You go like, hey, Jay, that's not how it works. But I'm sorry, there are certain games when you need to look at a pitcher and say, I need you tonight. I need you to give me. I need you to get us this W. And that was tonight. And I thought Castillo would do it. I thought in the big stage in New York, Luis Castillo would step up and have a big start. And I didn't expect the Mariners to get 13 runs off Brito, but I thought they'd get 3, 4, 5, and Castillo could dominate and they would win this game. That was kind of my formula. I thought that's what they would do. I thought Castillo would step up in a big spot where this team needed it after a tough game yesterday, after he's had a couple shaky starts to bounce back, and he did not do it. He was meh. He was mediocre today, and mediocre on a night when they absolutely needed him. That is not a good start. I'm not questioning these guys' work ethic and commitment. I want to make that very clear. I guarantee you Luis Castillo would probably say the same thing. I'm sure he'd probably sit there going, I don't know what the post-game comments were. I normally don't watch those for baseball, just because it's not game the next day. But I'm sure Castillo would probably agree. He probably would say I wasn't good enough tonight. So I'm not calling on these guys saying that, they need to work hard, but they need to be better. They need to be better. People chirped about the umps, and Phil Cuzzy stinks. He was terrible. That's not why they lost this game. So I'm not even going to get into that. I'm not. It doesn't matter when you're playing like this. There's no excuse this team couldn't get a run off of Brito. No excuse. They didn't even put any pressure on him. They had 4 base runners. They finally got a little bit on the Yankees bullpen, but moral victories are done. I don't care that they bounced back and kind of made it close at the end. That was fine in April. I would have applauded that. And I would have applauded Dylan Moore's first hit being the home run, but not anymore. It's too late for that. Moral victories are not a thing anymore. We're in the dog days. We're going into July here. And you're going to be 6 games out of a playoff spot if you lose tomorrow, relying on a rookie that's only made 3 MLB starts. That's not to say that to knock Brian Wu. He's been great his last couple times out, but I'm just saying from the standpoint of what you're needing. This was a game where, and I'm probably exaggerating a little bit because, again, who knows? Maybe they win tomorrow and they go on an 8-game winning streak. I don't know. It is possible. There is time left for that. But this was a chance to make some moves, make a little move in that wild card race. They were fortunate enough with that 4-2 homestand to be 3 back. You win the series, you're 2 games out. This was a winnable series. There was no Aaron Judge. Yeah, you faced Garrett Cole game 1, but then you had pitchers that are hittable. Brito and Herman, you can't do anything with your ace going in Luis Castillo, and he doesn't pitch well. If this Yankee lineup was better, he would have given up more runs. The fact is the Yankees lineup is just not great right now. So, it's kind of why he was able to, I think, survive the 5 innings. So it's just frustrating. The offense, again, it's I'm not going to get on Caballero. I'm not going to get on some of those guys. I'm not going to get on Mike Ford or A.J. Pollock or even Colton Wong anymore. I'm done with that. Where's the big names stepping up? Why aren't these guys stepping up? And I still say, and this is, I want to be clear on my take on Scott Servais here for a second, because a lot of people, why isn't he getting thrown out of these games? First of all, he's jawing at the umps. You can't see it on TV. Ryan Divish even mentioned it, that Scott's yelling at them and doing things. Number 2 is, it's not that I think Scott is the most amazing manager. With this team right here, I think Pete Carroll's a really good coach. I think he's a great culture builder. I think he's a true plus person brings to the table. I don't know. Baseball's a little difficult. It's a little different. My thing with Scott is I always think he's done a good job keeping this team together for 162. I don't know about in-game managing strategies. I think people overreact to a lot of things sometimes. Pitching changes and whatnot. I think sometimes it's like you can kind of it's talked about too much when good teams win and bad teams don't. But it's just and like I said, I don't. Scott might not be amazing. I don't know, but it's like I don't know what you want Scott to do here. Like, and I'm not going to go on a whole Scott Servais rant here, but these guys are all underperforming. Like Julio is underperforming. Ty is underperforming, I think, at least with the slugging. Gino, Kellen, I'm not going to get a Cal. Like Colton Wong becoming the worst hitter of all time. You know what I mean? Like, unless you think there's some magic juice that Scott just makes all these guys worse, then I'm telling you right now, a new manager isn't going to change anything. It's not. It's not going to. These guys have to figure it out before you talk anything managerial-wise. You know what I mean? And then there's people that are, like, they want to blame Jerry. And listen, I always say this. Jerry and Scott are the GM, and Justin Hollander and Scott are the brain trust of this organization. Yes, it ultimately falls on them when the team is struggling. But you have all these players underperforming. So anybody that comes in and goes, oh, this is why we said they needed to add people because we knew this team, this is what this team was, it is a lie because you didn't. Did you think Julio Rodriguez was going to go from MVP to a kind of a league average player? You thought you knew Colton Wong, and I know I've said this rant 100 times, but you knew Colton Wong was going to become the worst player in baseball? This is all things this is on the players. It's on the players. There's nothing Scott's going to do for Luis Castillo. Luis Castillo's been pitching this league for a long time. He's got to go out there and he's got to perform. So, do I think Scott's amazing? I don't know. Baseball managers, I think, they're all, here's my thing. I've been a Mariners fan since the Lou Piniella days. I remember people hating on Lou Piniella. People hated Bob Melvin. People hated Mike Hargrove. They hated John McLaren. They hated Jim Riggleman. They hated Don Wakamatsu. They hated Eric Wedge. They hated Lloyd McClendon. They hated Darren Brown. Like, everybody's hated every single manager. They're kind of all the same. They kind of are. They're all baseball guys. If they can keep a clubhouse together, there's not much else. The players have got to perform. Football's a little different. I'm not going to get into a whole football, baseball coaching debate here. I don't know why I even went off on that tangent. But, just unacceptable performances. And it's all around. It's all around with this team. And they continue to take a couple steps forward and a couple steps back. They still cannot beat a team over 500 to save their lives. Do I think this Yankee team is bad? And listen, if you're a Yankee fan watching this, none of this is meant towards the Yankees. This is Mariner frustration. I have nothing personal against any team in baseball. I really don't. Even the Astros. Astros fans have been amazing to me on here, so I have nothing against anybody. This is not the Yankees of, the days when you look at their lineup and go, oh my God, Jorge Posada's batting 8th. Like, this lineup is just so stacked that you've got someone like that hitting 8th. I don't know if he ever did, but you know what I mean. This is not a very good lineup. This is not a great team, right? Especially without Aaron Judge, it's not. Without Garrett Cole on the mound, it's a pretty mediocre baseball team. That's not meant as an insult, because Lord knows the Mariners are really mediocre right now. But that's kind of what the Yankees are right now. And with Luis Castillo on the mound, you should be winning that baseball game. That's 4 straight Luis Castillo starts that the Mariners lost. And he's part of the reason for that. It's not like he went 8 innings, gave up 1 earned run, and they lost 1-0 here. Now, would 2 have been enough? I don't know. But if Castillo could have been the dominant ace that I wanted him to be and I thought he could be tonight, I think they might have been able to win this 2-1 or at least gotten it to extras and had a chance. I don't know. Like, I'm not throwing in the towel. I never will. I'm always going to be here for you guys. I love everybody that comments and everything. And so I'm not going anywhere. The videos are not going to stop. And I've been saying it for a week or so now. It's kind of just a mediocre baseball team. I don't know what else to think about them. I'm tired of waiting for some of these guys to come around. I think this offense can be better. I know it can be better. But maybe Gino just kind of stinks now. Maybe he's just older and he's done. Maybe Cal isn't. Maybe Cal Rawley's just kind of an average guy, player. And I don't know. Please don't quote. This isn't anything I'm trying to make to be like, oh, come back when they make it. And you got Jay on video saying this. I'm wondering. I am. I'm being honest. I still think Julio's going to be a tremendous player. I have zero doubt about that. But it's been frustrating that he's been, he's been all right. Like his defense and everything, he's probably got a pretty decent WAR total and everything. He's probably been overall just solid player. But the goal is for Julio to be an MVP, to be a superstar. That's going to take this team where it needs to go. AJ Pollock all of a sudden can't hit lefties. Is he just toast? I don't know. Like, even Teoscar Hernandez, like the big picture, yeah, he's been hot recently. 721 OPS, he should be better than that. That's really mediocre. It's just all mediocrity up and down the lineup. Actually, it's just poor up and down the lineup. The at-bats have been uncompetitive. I thought they were more competitive against Garrett Cole last night, actually. To be perfectly honest, I thought they had some better at-bats against Cole. It's a tough road trip. And they got one more against the Yankees and 3 against a good Baltimore team. The goal is to not bury yourself on this road trip. That's why I said 3-3 was fine. I was okay with it because it would have kept you afloat. You got a team like the Nationals coming in. Maybe you can make some hay there. It could get bad. Like, if they lose tomorrow, they're 6 out. Tomorrow, I felt like tonight was a must-win game. I really did. I felt like tonight was a must-win game with the pitching matchup you had. I felt that they had to win this one tonight. I really did. Listen, there is, what are we at now? That's 75 minus 2, 72, 90 games left. That's a lot of games. There's a lot of baseball left. But every time I say that, that number's going down. Remember when I was saying there's 130, 140? We're down to 90. We're 9 games away from the halfway point in this season. You lose tomorrow, you're 6 games back, and you're relying on a pitcher that's going to be making his 4th major league start. That's not a dig on Brian Wu at all. That's not. I think he's going to be up to the challenge. I do. Is this offense? Are they going to show up? Or are they going to lay another egg tomorrow? Is Brian Wu going to be able to get you that 6-7 innings dominant start that Luis Castillo could not tonight? It's a lot to ask a young guy making his 4th start. But if you lose the game, you're 6 out. And behind teams that, the Yankees are going to get Aaron Judge back. Houston's going to get Yordan Alvarez back. You going to catch those teams? I don't know. I don't, not right now. Not the way they're playing. It's like, well, they add a bat. Should they? Or should they look at who they can sell off? I don't think this team is doomed for years. I think there's a good young core. I would expect this to be a bounce-back team next year. I really would. I'm not talking about trading away the core. But some of the veterans, if it gets bad, then yeah, you got to start looking at it. You got to. We'll see what happens. I'm hopefully going to be live tomorrow for the game. Hopefully, we'll have some fun together. Always do. So hopefully, I'm going to try and do a live stream for tomorrow's game. So I hope everybody has a great night. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday night, whatever's, I'm looking at a watch that doesn't exist. That's whatever's left of your Wednesday night. Enjoy your Thursday. Hope everybody has a great night. As always, go Mariners. I'm not going anywhere. We'll still be here. We'll talk about it. We will have therapy together. Love you guys. Have a great night. Peace. Go Ems.